All right, today's topics are discernment and resolve. Um, I'll talk about. I watch a lot of anime, so one of the animes I used to watch, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That's a really good one. Now I watch Bleach, and for those who don't know what anime is, Japanese manga, or in other words, manga in Japan is a comic book, and then when it gets to anime, they take the comic books and they turn them to cartoons. So I've been watching these for like a really long time. But the reason, and they even said some of the words in the cartoon, but the reason that this came up because those are two major lessons that are in a lot of hero and stories. So let me explain the first one. Resolve. What resolve means? Resolve means doing what you say you're going to do, and I've talked about this already. Period. No matter what happens. So like these different characters or the main character will always go through these different dramas, or they'll always go to when they're fighting the enemy, they're on their last death or their last leg, or they look like they're about to lose. There's always something. I mean, even Dragon Ball Z had this with Goku. There's always something where it doesn't matter if the enemy is like this much more powerful. There's something extra that came out of them that made them win that battle. And it always win the battle when it looks like, okay, they're about to lose or they have nothing left. And they're like, where the hell did that power or that strength come from, that heart? That's what they mean when it comes to resolve. So a lot of times in your life, it may be frustrating and stressful. It's like always at the last, but no matter what, just stay focused on your prize. You will win. Period. It doesn't matter how many little defeats and little. If you have linear focus on there, you will win. It does not matter how many times. Like I used to kind of even be down on myself looking at entrepreneurs. Like there's another one that there's a possibility. I'm gonna put that in universe. I will be collaborating with her, but she had four. I talk about my business. She had about five failed businesses with people that would just straight up, you know, take money from her and stuff like that. Now she's extremely successful. So she got onto many rivers. She's at the top of her game, then completely broke top of the game, then completely broke because of bad deals and bad partnerships with people that completely ripped her off. And it was amazing that she had what we call resolve, because man, you go from 100 to zero again. This went to zero again, and that had to been crazy. I know that's been crazy, up and down, peaks and valleys in her life, which has to really like be amazing that she still had resolved, because I know a bunch of people were like, get a job, what's wrong with you? But somehow, but now it's winning for her. But that was about the fifth or sixth time, but everything is on like a winning realm and streak. And then through all her business, she learned and just moved forward. Just boom, she didn't really have time. Just kind of like the analogy I did with the bird, and this is probably what the problem with humans is, including myself. So the bird, when a storm comes, like the bird just picks up its nest and goes. It doesn't, or whatever little that it can take, or it'll just take itself if it can't take it at all. Like us people, when stuff happens, we cry, we mope, and we sit around. And I'm saying to clearly myself, like, oh man, I start again. The bird doesn't even think about that. It just thinks like, okay, I got my family, I got this, boom, next. And that's something we have to learn. We've been attached to too many things. We're really attached to things, and we should be more like birds and being able to move, and they don't like it. It does not bother them. Like they just know that hurricanes and certain nature storms are part of life. Build another nest. Period. That's it. There's not a second thought. So she was really good at that. So that's breaking down resolve. Another theme that is really dope in most of these anime series is like, okay, you have the character first, they're reluctant, just like most of us are. We're reluctant with our spiritual calling, our main purpose. So they're reluctant to get started. But when they do get started, they go onto this path, and they get with a group of people that they feel like, okay, this is divine path. So like Full Metal Alchemist, he worked for the department in the government who did like alchemy, and who kind of, you know, was supposed to be kind of like the government, did research kind of against the bad guys. Okay, when Bleach, Ichigo, he goes to the Soul Society. So that's the Soul Society is basically like a place in the middle where like they decide, okay, you're a good soul, you go up here, or you go to the Soul Society. If you're bad society, you go here, or whatever, to get transformed. Kind of like somewhat, if you think about it in like spiritual, it's kind of like in a purgatory place where you're gonna be, um, where it'll tell you which way you go, or if you Egyptologist or commission, like me, which is my favorite study, Commission sciences, is the same. It's like, okay, the laws of Mayat. So it's the place in between, well, like I said, when you're being chosen, where your scales. So you have your heart, and uh, you have the feather. So if your heart passes is lighter than the feather, you go onto this direction. If not, you go back to be, reintegrated um, back in the universe or a negative state or wherever. But that's kind of what they do. But with the same thing like Full Metal Alchemist and now Bleach, I'm not finished with this series already. I'm so good at like like stories. I already know where it's going. But same thing with Bleach. Okay, they went into this place and everything that they've been trying to do to fight for good and all this stuff. And some of the people that are battling, you learn different stories, and there comes a realization that some of the people at the very, very top of the main thing that and his heart was for good were actually very evil people that had like secret plans and agendas towards things, and they would genocide different people. So I think you'll go into this corporation that kind of sells you on, okay, this is good, this is right, we're really here to help people. There are a lot of people at the top, and a lot of those places are not really good people, or don't really have, they kind of just what do you call it, they prey on your weaknesses, and a lot of that. And the same thing happened in Bleach. They have some of the things they gave you who they were, and they're kind of preying on, okay, that you're a good person, and that you had an idealistic, and your heart was good and it's pure, and you're trying to do good form. So what's good about this is it teaches you the lesson of discernment, which is dope. This is something that I've been trying to. My cousin got it. Other people got it, which, like I said, when I remember I first started to talk to them about it, but they're like completely open minded now. But it doesn't. This is comes to if a person has on a badge, whether it's clergy, a uniform, something that represents something. Okay, that's supposed to be good. Do not don't ever go into anything. You still can go in with a good heart and an open mind, but always trust your first instinct and gut, and always use what we call discernment. So it doesn't matter what they look like, and this is in every arena. No one gets a pass because it's everywhere. They prey on people that that don't have this power to discern people's intentions. Everybody's not going to tell you the truth. A lot of people are going to lie. So when you go into a path, wherever it is, whether it's religious mission, Buddhism, conscious, okay, people, and if you study the Matrix, there's something called agents. There's that in every regime. So the only thing you can do, it doesn't mean, okay, just give up and not be good. You still can be a good person on your divine path and doing what you realize, but have the intelligence to know, or the discernment, or using your first mind, your heart. If something doesn't feel right, it doesn't matter if this is a clergy, this is a pastor, this is person second level to Buddha, Taoism, blah blah, then it's just not right. So always question. People question their intentions. Always be, and if you do, if and be very observant and very aware. Awareness of your surrounding, and being with aware, you'll have an instinct. So that's where it comes into discernment. So when you're younger, a lot of times people don't have that. You have to develop it. I prayed for it just like my mom prayed for discernment. So I'm pretty good at that. So that was a dope thing. So a lot of things that people are that you think, okay, this is one way, and they're telling you this, that's not exactly how it is. Always use your instinct. Don't be too keen on just what someone says out their mouth. Watch behaviors, watch patterns, and more than that, follow your first mind. I know it's been diluted with a lot of stuff, but it usually is always right. And then another thing can help you with going with your first mind. Everyone does things, but writing stuff down is pretty damn good for me. At the end of the day, stuff might not happen when you always expect it, but when I look at my journals, pretty much 99, if 90, unless I change my mind, it's like, okay, I don't want to do, probably 90 to 99% of everything I've written down has come to pass. So that's like some powerful things. So like if you had an instinct, or you had an idea or whatever, a lot of times, if it's like I said, if it's the first mind, it's true. It's a lot of, sometimes we can be overzealous in our attempts and try to explain things to other people, and that's when things get convoluted. So I understand your joy and your optimism and you're thinking about that one, a new idea. But sometimes you have to sit with an idea and be observant, and then when you do share it with people, don't kind of don't even feel bad about the criticism, because like I said, every time it's not always an attack. Sometimes it may be, but it's not always an attack. But don't let that bother you. If you know that's something in your heart and it's something that is meant for you, that you're called to do, then continue to go on the path. It does not matter if you fail 5 times, 10, 15. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? Like, it does not matter if you're calling. Sometimes it might be better just to be quiet, or be around people that have goals and dreams, same path as you. That's it. Like, we make things a lot more difficult. We do things like willpower. You only have so much willpower. Things that we're very social species. So if you're an entrepreneur, get around other entrepreneurs. Join me. If you like photography, get around other photographers. You be around people like it breeds like, and be around people that are doing what you want to do and learn from them. Like back in the day, there's a different model. There's apprentices. Apprenticeships worked back in the day. So like, if you see you want to be a stone worker or a carver or whatever, then you would be with a stone worker. You would be with a carver. You would be with a musician. So continue to model and train on those paths. And like I said, don't let time kind of stop you from that. And then go at balance and work at your own pace, and realize everything can be getting you to your goal. It doesn't matter, okay, if you're dishwashing now or if you're mopping floor, it doesn't matter. Everything you do can be in a balance. Okay, I got to do this to pay the bills, but I'll sacrifice here. Instead of when I go home watching Game of Thrones, let me put that extra $100 or that extra time working towards my dream, working towards my goal, or however you see it do. So that's how you think. You have to think about more than one direction doing things too. Just because it happened the way that you thought or perceived it happen doesn't mean it's not surpassing. That job could, even though you might not like it at this time, could be a connection to something that's in your arena or in your field. Or if you hate it that much, and you don't have no, then quit if it's that bad. If it's that bad, but if you could stand it and it's not that bad and something easy to do, and make sure that your main goals are paid, so you can really focus on building your business. And that's another thing too, with balancing and building a business. I kind of went off on this, but I understand everyone's from different places. It is a lot easier to build something when you have some type of safety net or something. Like if you don't have to really worry about. That's why you think about like these people in the garage and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you look at Steve Jobs or whoever. A lot of these people went back to their parents and went in their parents' garage. You're not saying that's what you have to do, but you have to be. You cannot think like everyone else when you're doing a business. So especially when you're just starting a business, you have to be very conscious and cut your costs. So it might mean you getting a Metro PCS phone or something. It might mean different things to cut, and you have to be a very lean person when you're starting. But like I said, just to be that, you have to think differently and think long term. That's really what balances you out. So if you, once it does kick off or you're able, and again, you should. And I'm a different person when it comes to quitting job. I don't think you should quit your full time job until the money from your business is sufficient enough for you to survive, if not better, than where you are, or if it's just completely getting away. Because you have to think about things. Business, like I said, works different because you're controlling everything. So you have to think about things in advance. So like I said, I'm a very advanced person. So the way, if you're okay, pay month to month type person, you might have to structure your life to be like, okay, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months volumes. So you could do things better in budgeting in that form. And that actually works much better for me, and then like volumes and then forms. But anyway, I got on a business talk, but the main topic for most people is discernment. So yeah, it doesn't matter what they have on or what they're saying. Trust your instinct and use your discernment. It usually is. I mean, mine's never been wrong. So even with relationships, but like I said, you'll learn that sometimes even bad relationships are needed to learn a lesson or learn it better, or needed. Even that can be. I did this about with the law of attraction. I think might even said this already, but it's okay if I'm saying it twice. It might be needed to bring you closer to your goal, or let you know, or you might need to have a clear vision of what you don't want, so you can clearly picture what you do want. So get out of the aspect of good and bad, aware, observe, and learn. And that's what it is. Like a be aware, observe, and learn, and stop using all your energy to fight, you know what I'm saying, a circumstance because it might be needed for your growth or your awareness. So that's it. Discernment as rather as resolve. Resolve, sticking to what you said you're gonna do, doesn't matter what, just period. And it helps. It helps you get backwards your goals, and it does make sense on making a goal, but don't be so focused on time frames. Focus on the process. So, say I want to be a billionaire, right? You know, it's unrealistic in my head, at least. Okay, a billionaire in a year, but the things when you really focus on the process, you can do well. What are billionaire habits? I'll just talk about are people that are wealthy or successful. They have certain habits. They wake up the same time. They go to sleep the same time. They have a routine. Like it's not about willpower. Like people like a lot of people. Even one of my first wealth books I read, actually after Rich Dad Poor Dad, was Automatic Millionaire. They have things just like your taxes. They make it automatic, so they don't they don't leave it to chance on their willpower to create what they want to do. A lot of things are automatic and set up, and they go step by step and step and step. So that can help you with your goals. Same thing, say if you're working out, don't give yourself like, don't kill yourself like, oh, I ate this piece of cake. Do what are successful habits that people do so they don't lose. I usually eat bad when I don't prepare my meals. So what does that show me? Instead of me trying to fight, oh, I'm gonna eat this cake or blah blah, or doing it backwards. Here's the right way to do it. Okay, if before I go to bed, this is when I prepare my meal before lunch. Okay, I'll prepare 3 meals or whatever, or there's something. Work it in to balance the times because I make the most mistakes by taking time and knowing myself is when I'm hungry. So take time to prepare your meals, or I'm most alert in the morning. So how about I do my hard stuff first? And that's just how I do hard things first. So that those little things like that can help you amplify and reach and get to where your goals are. So that's it. That's supposed to be about discernment, resolve. We kind of went on to some other things, but discernment and resolve are two very important aspects, and I always want to be concerned beyond business because, like I said, that's what we're here for, the life part or whatever. That's like, but the main thing is your purpose, and you don't want to really be boggled down in purpose. So you got to learn how to use discernment and resolve very quickly. So like if you want to be flexible, if you want to make it in life, so if something happens, you want to be have adaptability and be able to flex back and get back on point with what you're supposed to be doing. That's resolve. Discernment. You don't want to just believe everything that someone tells you blindly. Question everything. That goes to discernment. So discernment and resolve. Peace, love, blessings, elevation, evolve at your pace. Again, the best thing you could do is stop looking at everyone else. Everyone has a different experience. Everyone has a different awareness. Everything, you know, some of like one of the people that I was looking at, Teal Swan, and everything is balanced. Like she went through incredible shit. So that's why she's an advanced as she is at the early age. A lot of people want this wealth and they want this success, but they don't know what like that person went through to get to that level, or how much stuff are people are looking at me, oh man, they're 20, they're a billionaire. Oh yeah, but he's been building businesses from like 13, 12, 14. So it's still the same process, is still the same, while you were probably watching cartoons, in which is fine, which I love being a kid, but I'm just giving an example. Why he was building businesses, he was selling cookies, his parents owned the business, so he already was aware of what goes into and entails in a business. One of the favorite people that I follow, Gary Vaynerchuk, his dad, before he did Wine Glass TV and took it that direction, his dad owned a winery. So like, you guys, stop looking at everybody else. Look at yourself and use your strong suits and what you serve. That is how you will win. You win. The same thing is with everything. You win by knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what your strong suits are, knowing what makes you happy, knowing what you're good at. Not looking at Greg, because Greg has a different experience. He has different connections. He has different talents from you. But your talents are unique to you. If you use yours to the best of your ability, you will get more. But you're not going to get more if you're looking at everybody else's talents. Your talents and gifted for a reason. Go in that direction. So, discernment, resolve. And if you're doing business, stop watching everybody else. Everything goes back to the same thing that I've been preaching from the beginning, self-development. We're all just reflections of each other. So once you start with self, that's where you get all your answers from. You don't need a teacher, you don't need a guru, you don't need me, you don't need anyone. But this is just a reminder, because people that help me, I want to help them. But there's nothing that you cannot find that's not inside you. We all have our own universes inside us. So it's all there. It's just if you're aware, as if you're open. Peace and love.